Hi, it's Chris here. It means a lot to me that you're watching this video. I just want to let you know that we're live streaming Tuesdays, 6 p.m. UK time. I'd love to see you there. Enjoy your Daily Tiger. Let me know in the comments what your questions are. I'll see you soon. Now, I loved this comment, and it's from, who is it from? This comment is from Phil, and he says, my jaw dropped when I got this working. It just got me thinking about how Excel learning works, and the message of this video is it's not linear. It's not linear, which means that if you put in 1 hour of effort, you're not going to get 1 hour satisfaction every time. That's not how it works. It's more, you might have long periods of effort where you don't get much satisfaction at all, and you might be wondering, why am I doing all this? But then suddenly everything fits together and you have these jaw-dropping moments. So I'm telling you, stick through the hard times. You can have these moments of realization and delight when you're punching the air, everything's going well. One might be just around the corner. Had some great questions recently about debugging in Excel, and this answer is perhaps not the answer you want to hear, but in my view it's the answer people need to hear, which is, if you're focusing on debugging, you're probably focusing on the wrong thing. In reality, prevention is better than cure. If you're doing lots of debugging, you're doing lots of curing, lots of firefighting. That's stressful. We don't want to be doing that as programmers, as professionals. We don't want to be doing that. Prevention is better. And in this case, prevention means better planning. And that means understanding the overall structure of a spreadsheet file, particularly the role of each sheet. So next time you're building a spreadsheet, what's the role of each sheet? Where is the data inputted? Where are the main formulae in the calculations? Where are the outputs? By understanding overall structure and thinking about it like you're planning building a house or something, you're going to avoid a lot of these debugging problems. Good luck. Now, I don't want to come across all angry or frustrated, but this does frustrate me and anger me sometimes, and that is when people don't respect the medium. Don't respect the medium of Excel. And already, on this forum, I've told you that I hate the question when people say, what do you do? What is your job? I hate that question. I don't ask anybody else that question. For me, it's kind of judgmental. And I say, very literal way, I make spreadsheets and I help people with Excel. Now, I'd say half of the people I actually communicate that to basically laugh, and because they think Excel is really simple. Yeah, and that for me is a fundamental misunderstanding of the medium. If people could understand it better, they'd be getting so much more value out of Excel, and people simply wouldn't respond in that way. So to get good at Excel, you've got to respect it as a technical medium. That's going to help you to get better. I'm doing a bit of a series of videos on debugging in Excel, and we've already said that prevention is more important than cure. So really, you want to be focusing your efforts on preventing these problems, which means having a better understanding of spreadsheet design and a simpler overall structure with a clear role for each sheet. But even with the best planning, the best of intentions and implementation, you're going to have some debugging problems. So what do you do when a formula isn't working? The first step is to double click on the formula. You're going to get the visual clues to see the cells that the formula is interacting with. That's going to help you understand. Then you can trace the dependence. That means you get the little blue arrows on the screen. That's also going to help you understand. And my third tip is to use two windows. If you go to the View tab, you can view two windows at the same time. That's going to help you understand how a formula is interacting with different sheets. So 3 tips for debugging there. Good luck. Going to deal with another Excel debugging tip today. And again, this is more about prevention than cure, because whenever you're thinking about debugging and firefighting, you should be thinking, how do I prevent this system happening in the first place? And this tip is something we've covered already on your daily target, but it's really important. Keep your formulae short. Keep your formulae short. Some people take pride in long and complicated Excel formulae. Look, I've managed to write this and it works. Look what it does. It's not the way to think about it. Longer formulae are more difficult to understand, and remember, a spreadsheet is something to communicate, so other people are going to have to interact with it. They're difficult to understand, and it actually slows Excel calculation down, so they're not efficient. You want to be dividing formulae up across multiple cells. That makes Excel run more efficiently. More importantly, it makes the formulae easier to understand, easier to debug. Good luck. Luna's here with us today. Now we're talking about debugging this week, and my argument is prevention's more important than cure. So that means good overall spreadsheet design, good file design. That means understanding the role of each sheet in the file. So what are the main roles of sheets in Excel files? Well, here are the main ones. First, you've got data input sheets. This is where you are doing your data input. So all the data input should happen on the same sheet. Then we can think about process calculations. Where are the main calculations happening? Again, it's good to have them grouped together on their own sheet or in one part of a sheet. Then finally, we think about outputs. So this is where you're doing your analysis, getting the answer that you want to see. Again, that should be on its own sheet, or at least on, distinctive on a particular sheet. So there's 3 types to get started thinking about Excel file design. Now, in the past few days, we've done some videos on debugging in Excel, and this is a summary video of all those previous videos. I'm going to work from the practical things to the abstract things. So firstly, what are the practical things you can do if you've got a problem in Excel? Firstly, you can click on the cell that has the formula. That's going to allow you to see the other cells that the formula is interacting with. Then you can trace precedence or trace dependence. That's going to give you the blue arrows to allow you to understand the other cells that the problematic cell is interacting with. Then you've got to get yourself 2 screens. 2 screens is going to allow you to see different parts of the spreadsheet file at the same time. On to also keep formulae short. Keep formulae short. Short formulae are easier to understand, easier to debug. Then you've got to think, what is the role of each sheet on a more abstract level? Input, process, or output. And finally, at the highest level of abstraction, you've got to think about building a spreadsheet like building a house. That's going to allow you to avoid lots of problems that lead to debugging.